Most factions in Fallout aren't exactly renowned for their friendliness. Most are hostile to outsiders, and some will even go out of their way to wreak as much havoc across the Wasteland as they can. These are the 7 nastiest Fallout factions. Number 7. The Slavers Guild. Let's be real for a moment, there's a lot of questionable stuff going on in Fallout 2, but perhaps the most sadistic comes from the Slavers Guild. As the name suggests, it's a group that operates a slave trade out of the New California Republic. They operate in sort of secrecy, since NCR Rangers are permitted to shoot the slavers on sight. The Rangers don't get to do all the killing though. If you're unlucky or just stupid enough to try to sell slaves without the slavers' blessing, you'll likely be killed. Aside from that though, the slavers are sort of your everyday slave trade operation. The slaves are property and treated as such. Number 6. The White Glove Society. At first glance, the White Glove Society might just appear to be weirdos in masks who operate an otherwise ordinary, albeit high-end, casino. However, as many unfortunate Wastelanders and travelers could attest to, if they were still alive, there is far more to them than meets the eye. They do offer standard casino games like blackjack and roulette, but the main attraction of the casino is their restaurant, the Gourmand, which is well known for its luxurious and succulent steaks. Their steaks are human meat, that's where I'm going with this. They kill people, chop them up, and turn them into dinner. Number 5. Caesar's Legion. A group of brutal Roman wannabes, the Legion despise democracy and its frivolous luxuries. To the Legion, there are those who exist to survive, and those who live to serve a greater purpose, who would look death in the eye and tell it to fuck off because they've got shit to do. Those who exist to survive are animals, and beneath them, almost subhuman, which is why they're treated as slaves most of the time. Humans do not have inherent value simply because they're alive. All need to be judged based on their own merits. They also crucify people. To be honest, there's a lot more to the Legion than can fit in 120 words. Number 4. The Jackals. The Jackals are seemingly your run-of-the-mill gang in Fallout. Originating from Vault 15 alongside several other groups, they, with the Vipers, were once a relatively dominant and feared group in the Mojave area until they were both almost wiped out by the NCR many years before New Vegas takes place. The thing about the Jackals is that, unlike many gangs that are obsessed with drugs, they're cannibals. They are savages that file their teeth into razor-sharp points, allowing them to easily rip and tear flesh from those who are unfortunate enough to cross their path. Rather than outgun their victims, they usually rely on ambushes and outnumbering them to defeat them and then feast on them. Number 3. Covenant. In a world where people might not even be people, you've got a group of kind-hearted folk who assist those they can and help the Commonwealth prosper. Well, not quite. Dr. Rosalind Chambers arrived at the Covenant prior to the events of Fallout 4 and turned it into a place to help those who suffered at the hands of synths. They're pretty anti-synth, to the point where they developed the SAFE test to ensure that no synths infiltrate their settlement. If you pass, you're great and allowed in. If you fail, there's a pretty good chance you'll be kidnapped and taken to their compound where you'll be interrogated and tortured because only a synth could fail their test. Random fun fact, many of the questions in the Covenant's SAFE test are the same questions used in Vault 101's GOAT test in Fallout 3. Number 2. Thinktank. The scientists who are a part of the Thinktank are scientists and researchers, the greatest and brightest minds pre-war Earth had to offer, who survived in Big Empty when the Great War took place. After the war, the executives began work on a project that would allow them to survive long into the future by transferring their brains and consciousness into think tanks, brains and robots. The other researchers and workers died. The think tank is responsible for many atrocities that riddle the Commonwealth, such as Cazadors, Night Stalkers, and the Red Cloud at the Sierra Madre, to name a few. Growing tired of experimentation, they created the sonic fence that now surrounds Big Empty. Even after erecting the fence, they still occasionally send out drones to collect travelers from the Mojave, who are quickly, brutally, savagely, disgustingly lobotomized. Honorable mentions. Oregon's Cannibals. Not much is known about them because they're relatively simple. They're a tribe of cannibals located near Arroyo. They travel in groups of 6, use spears and knives to kill people, then eat them. All things considered, they're not the most fucked up thing in Fallout, but, I mean, they eat people. They had to be on this list. Raiders. Raiders are perhaps the most common enemy in Fallout, through their various different types of factions. They're all savages who kill people without mercy and steal from those who aren't strong enough to fight back. Not the nicest people in the world. Number 1. The Master's Army. Like many factions throughout both Fallout and Entertainment, they, the Master, believe that they're doing something for the betterment of humanity. In reality though, they are monsters. The Master's plan was to turn what remained of humanity into the perfect beings by forcing them to evolve, usually via FEV. What resulted from his plan to create perfection in the form of super mutants was a number of abominations releasing out into the Wasteland, including but not limited to centaurs, floaters, and nightkin. Here's the thing though, as bad as that is, the Master actually had another goal. You could look at the super mutants as a means to an end. His real goal was unity, just as the Master was the result of the blob of former Richard Morrow absorbing creatures he came across. He wanted all of humanity to join him in beautiful unity. And if you think about it, it makes sense. There can't be any wars or conflict if everything is one. Alright, that's going to do it for this video about the 7 nastiest Fallout factions. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything, leave a like. Leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy the video or didn't learn anything. Follow me on Twitter at Mitten Squad. My name is Paul of Mitten Squad. Have a wonderful day.